Alright, hello everyone, welcome back. Today we have a brand new chapter of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, chapter 30, All Them Nuisances. Let's go ahead and start immediately off with the cover review, because we have got an ugly one today. Here we go. Here we have the cover. It is with Mushi and his duplicates all around him, and God, this is an ugly cover, not because of the art itself. The art itself is fine. The coloring is interesting. I actually really like the contrast between like the green background with the blue foreground of Mamushi's like fur thing. But Mamushi's design is just disgusting. Like he's meant to look off-putting, and that's exactly what he looks like here with like, just look at this, like he just looks creepy. Like the way his body, like look at his body shape on the top right duplicate, the way it's like a rectangle instead of like just a normal body. Like, dude is just, he's ugly to look at, like, just straight up, he's ugly to look at. But that's what makes this cover good. It emphasizes just how creepy Mushi is, especially with the fact that he can duplicate. Dude's a villain. Dude's straight up an enemy. He's a monster. And he really emphasizes that. Which is what the divine trees are. You have to remember, they are basically monsters, so to have one be creepy like this, it makes sense. Instead of being like Matsuri or Ryu, who they both look pretty just normal humanoids besides like their eyes and stuff. Nah, Mamushi's just an ugly motherfucker, let's just be honest here. He is ugly. Overall, pretty decent cover, but an ugly cover. That's what they were going for. So, mission accomplished. Regardless, let's move on. So with this chapter, we got quite a bit going on. We start off back where we left off with Team 10 with Himawari as they take out some of the duplicates. Duplicates that they took out, however, ended up splitting into even more. And we start off this chapter with a very stupid decision by Himawari. She decides, in order to get rid of these new duplicates that are showing up in front of them, let me form a tail beast bomb and throw it inside the village. I don't know what she was thinking here, if she was even thinking, but to just instantly go to a tail beast bomb like this in the village is quite an insane choice. And this is definitely one of the futures where Jura ends up killing Himawari. We already know that Himawari could die in this battle from Koji. And I think this is definitely one of the issues here, because if she lets that go inside the village, you already know Jura is going to pull up, he's going to be mad at Mamushi for causing Himawari to even think about doing this. Because we know that Jura doesn't want the Hidden Leaf Village to be destroyed. And not only is he going to be mad at Mamushi, he's going to be mad at Himawari for even doing this, and then he's going to end up killing both of them. So, yeah. Not Himawari's best moment. Luckily, Shikadai, with this quick thinking, uses, I would say, a form of shadow stitching jutsu to quickly bundle up all the Mamushi duplicates, and then he has Chocho throw them up into the air, allowing Himawari to unleash the tail beast bomb and have its explosion and aftershock go off in the air away from the Hidden Leaf Village, not directly inside of it. Granted, the shockwaves still kind of affect the village a little bit, but not too much, and Shikadai does the proper thing here and scolds Himawari for making that bad choice, because they're not always going to be around to help her. So if she ends up doing something like that, you can't really undo that jutsu or that ability without it going off. So she has to think twice about what she's doing. And I'm really glad we get this little moment here where Shikadai scolding her, you know, kind of giving her some flack for doing that. It's really nice to see and not have it just be kind of brushed off. But before we get any farther into that conversation, they notice that even more Mamushi duplicates are running around and now running away from them. So now they have to chase them down. We then cut to Koji and Inogen, and Inogen is freaking out because no matter how many of the clones or duplicates are taken out, more and more of them keep popping up. We then switch back to Kobu in his interrogation room, and he tells Konohamaru It's time for me to interview the Hokage. Summon Shikamaru here now. Sai, who I've been suspecting this entire time to have an idea of what is going on with Inojin, whether he's able to somehow feel that Inojin is communicating with Mitsuki and Konohamaru in the same room, finally speaks up, finally breaks his silence, and he tells Kobu that they've received reports of enemy attacks within the village from the Divine Trees. That Boruto has been spotted in the village as well. Because of this, because of the high-level threats, despite the security that they have, they can't guarantee his safety, and that he's afraid that danger could possibly befall him. So because of that, he asked Kobu to hold off on the interrogations for now and to evacuate to a secure area. Kobu basically says, how serious is the threat right now? Like, what exactly are the trees in Boruto seeking? And Sai gives him an honest answer saying, right now we're still investigating them, and we don't know what the threat level is. It is incalculable. Kobu is a little annoyed and is like, alright, you know what? Who cares? Bring Shikamaru here now. Evacuating would be premature. I'm gonna continue. And Konohamaru tries to argue with him on this, and Kobu basically tells him to shut up. This is the end of the discussion. Bring Shikamaru here now. So yeah, Kobu is dead set on interviewing Shikamaru now, even though the Hidden Leaf Village is literally under attack by one of its most dangerous enemies right now in the Divine Trees, and also their top #1 fugitive, at least in their minds, but we all know he's not, in Boruto. So yeah, Kobu is... I get his reasoning of why he's still continuing, because yeah, Sai didn't really tell him, oh yeah, there's a threat right now, he basically told him we don't know what they want right now, so that kind of means they haven't done anything yet. So Kobu's basically going with, well, they haven't done anything yet, then there's no reason to panic, so bring Shikamaru here now. So I understand his reasoning, but I still think Kobu's being extremely what's the word? Uncooperative for petty reasons at this point. You know, he's just kind of being arrogant. We then cut back to Sarda and Delta as they're surveying the area and seeing the amount of clones that have popped up. Inojin comments that there's already over 100 Mamushi clones running around. We see this little image here in this downright left panel, or bottom right left panel, of all of these little Mamushis. Look at them. There's like a bunch of bugs. Honestly, like I said earlier with the chapter cover, when you really think about it, it's just kind of disgusting. All these like creaturelings, like you can see one of them's like crawling on the ground as they're starting to lose their instinct or their intelligence, becoming more driven on just pure instinct. Like, this would be creepy to have 100 of these running around, especially with groups like this. Like, it's giving me the heebie-jeebies just thinking about it. Like, realistically. We continue. Sarda is saying that now that she spot the Mamushi duplicates, she's heading in to exterminate them. Shikamaru tells her to hold up, and he also tells every other extermination squad to hold back and not engage. We didn't get this really cool shot of Boruto. Boruto's just aura farming this chapter. Right here, this bottom right panel. Maybe we got the little wind effects around him. Like, he's just aura farming. That would be a cool background for profile picture. But regardless, Shikamaru basically tells them that he hoped to kill Mamushi while their numbers were low, but now that he's duplicated to a vast majority, or a vast number, it's better to just pull back and see what's going on, because they've all scattered over a wide area, and that for right now, there's only been reports of minor property damage, no civilians have been injured, and it seems like if they're not Ada, duplicates are not interested in any civilians. So right now, Mamushi's threat, while huge, he's not actively killing people, he's not actively causing damage, so Shikamaru is basically willing to pull back and see if maybe Mamushi will start to release some of these duplicates and dwindle his numbers in order to gain his intelligence back. And once that happens, they can start taking him down rather than trying to take him down right now with all the Mamushis out there. So honestly, I kind of agree with Shikamaru here. Mamushi's not really causing too much of an issue right now. Like, not an active threat. He's a threat, but he's not actively doing anything right now. So just to let him continue walking around looking for Ada, not causing damage, he's not killing civilians. Yeah, pull back. Pull back and see if he starts to dwindle his numbers a little bit. I honestly really do think that's a smart idea here by Shikamaru. And as Shikamaru is continuing to talk about his plan, he actually receives a message from the sensory unit. And the message is that Lord Kobu wants you in the interrogation room right now, ASAP. And Shikamaru, of course, is upset by this, and he tries to tell them, hey, I'm in the middle of something, the village is under attack, can we do this later? And then Kobu has a communication line directly to Shikamaru thanks to the sensory team. And he tells him that I am here as a proxy of the Land of Fire's Daimyo, and thus my orders represent the will of the Daimyo himself. So you will come to the interrogation room at once, not keep me waiting any longer. Shikamaru tries to appeal to him, saying that we're in the middle of an emergency. The village is currently under attack from a divine tree. Kobu just continues saying that this is a priority. Or do you intend to defy my orders? Because that would be a far greater blow to the village if that's what you're thinking. But like I said earlier, Kobu's just being very arrogant here. I don't get why he's so adamant about this. If anything, if I was Kobu, I would instead of interrogating Shikamaru, but instead just walk into Shikamaru's office and watch how he handles this threat. That would be able to kind of help him see whether or not Shikamaru is actually communicating with Boruto, which is what he's accusing him of. But instead, he's just... So this would allow Kobu to not only basically investigate Shikamaru, but Shikamaru could still protect the village the way he wants. But in reality, we know that's not the way he wants, because he wants to work with Boruto, but if Kobu's right there in front of him, he couldn't really do that. I feel like that would be the best way for Kobu to proceed with this, but Kobu, being the arrogant asshole that he is like, no, you're coming to me right now. Who gives a shit about the village? You have to answer this interrogation. I don't like Kobu as a character. He's very arrogant, and it shows. It really does show. But I mean, that's the point of him in this story. He's supposed to be like this. You're not supposed to like him. At least I feel like you're not supposed to like him. So, good writing. Basically, so after this, Inojin starts to freak out, wondering what he's supposed to do now that Shikamaru is being interrogated. And then we just cut to Boruto. He's taking out more duplicates, and he's trying to contact Shikamaru, but he's not getting an answer. And Shikamaru finally responds to Boruto saying, yeah, sorry, I'm listening. Right now, rendezvous, and then stand by and wait for further instructions. Boruto seems confused, and he asks Shikamaru, are you sure you're alright? And while he's asking this, Shikamaru, Boruto actually gets taken by surprise. As we see right here, he gets captured by a capture item. It seems to be a rope with a weight on the end that wraps around him. And we see that it is actually Hidden Leaf Shinobi, probably Jonin, that managed to capture Boruto. They report into the sensory team saying that they are Konoha police, and they managed to capture Boruto in Sector D Southwest. They also notice the divine trees around him, but they don't question it too much. And then they go to disarm Boruto. As we all know, the sword has been upgraded. So when the shinobi goes to grab the sword, his chakra starts to be absorbed from him, and he starts to feel weak. He ends up dropping the sword, and in this moment, Boruto uses his chance to use the teleportation jutsu to escape from his binds. He picks up his sword, and he comments to the shinobi, hey, you've got some skills. Some advice. If you see a divine tree, run away. It would be a waste to lose you. And with that, Boruto flies off into the air. So really cool interaction. It was actually kind of cool to see the Hidden Leaf Shinobi actually capture Boruto, even if it was only for a moment. Just to show that they're not completely useless in this situation. I know that's been a common complaint with Boruto, is that a lot of the Hidden Leaf is kind of useless due to the power level. So it's nice to see them get this little moment here, and who knows, maybe they're setting up this Shinobi that Boruto complimented to end up doing something important later on to maybe help take down Mamushi. They do focus on him again after Boruto leaves. Who knows, maybe they're setting him up for a little moment. That'd be cool to see. I think that's something to keep an eye on or keep track of, but regardless, that we end that scene and we go back to the Hidden Leaf Village and we get to see a bunch of Mamushis on like a street here. Once again, very disturbing to see so many Mamushis around. And you can see he's freaking out some of the people that he's walking up to. It's just... yeah, man, the more I think about it, the more I'm just like, God, Mamoshi's so creepy, man. Honestly, he's just a creepy motherfucker. It's perfect. That's exactly what they were going for, and they nailed it. Shikamaru contacts Sarada asking what's the situation, and Sarada says that he's only just looking around for Ada, not engaging in random acts of destruction or violence. And Shikamaru says, good, keep up the surveillance, report right away if there's any change. Shikamaru then tells Inojin that he's going to the interrogation room, that he needs to deal with Kobu right now, and that because of this he won't be able to verify the mind transmission formation for a while. So you either keep telling me the locations or you take over command of the mission yourself, Inojin. And Inojin, of course, is freaking out about this. He's saying that's ridiculous, he can't take over command. And Shikamaru proceeds to tell Inojin that as we're speaking right now, a bunch of Mamushis are drawing near the Hokage's office. Maybe once they're here, Kobu will back off, but I don't see him doing that. And Koji tells Shikamaru to hide the toad within his cloak, or just somewhere on him, before he heads to the interrogation. Because Koji has a plan to deal with it. But as he's talking about his plan, we cut to Boruto, flying in the air, aura farming, of course, once again. And he has a little reaction to Koji saying he has a plan. So it seems like we're setting up seeds for Boruto to maybe interfere with what Koji's planning. It wouldn't be the first time. We've already seen it happen with the Hidden Sand Village. We've already seen it happen with Kawaki. So what exactly is Boruto planning here? What is Koji planning here that Boruto feels like he needs to interfere, or possibly interfere? Koji proceeds to tell Inojin to release the mind transmission mission formation ability right now. And Inojin is confused and he's saying this would cut off the communication with everyone. He says that's fine. For right now, we need a different jutsu in order to be able to carry out this plan. We then cut to Shikamaru finally arriving to the interrogation room. And he asks Kobu, can we do this quickly? I need to get back to work. We're in a state of emergency. And Kobu says that's up to you. Depending on what transpires next, work will be the least of your concerns, Hokage. Kobu then proceeds to tell Shikamaru that he's had his suspicions from the get-go, that he is the one helping and aiding Boruto, and he tells Shikamaru to not act dumb because his intuition tends to be spot on, and evidence should be coming to light anytime now. Once again, showing just how arrogant Kobu is. This motherfucker believes he is the word of God, that he is always right, never wrong. That it's impossible. Wrong isn't even in his dictionary, apparently. Kobu is just dead set. I mean, he is right. You have to be honest here. He is right. Shikamaru is the one helping Boruto, so he's not wrong to believe in himself, but very arrogant. Very arrogant. He tells Shikamaru that if he admits to his crimes, the punishment on him will be lighter. So, what will be Shikamaru's move? But before Shikamaru even gets a chance to say anything, the frog in his cloak shows itself, And then Inojin proceeds to use the mind transfer jutsu through the frog and into Kobu himself. So really cool to see that thanks to the frog's ability to be able to project jutsus, that Inojin is able to use the mind transfer to go from his location all the way to Kubo. That is a very long distance mind transfer. But it does end up working. Kobu's head ends up smacking into the table from sudden change. This causes Sai to freak out a little bit. He's like, oh, Lord Kobu, what are you doing? So this confuses Sai, and Inojin proceeds to make one of the biggest mistakes so far in this mission. As he raises his head in Kobu's body, he looks over to Sai, and his first words are, Dad? And this confuses everyone. It shocks Shikamaru. Sai is just like, what? Inojin, realizing the mistake he made, he tries to correct himself by saying, I mean, darn, my darn hair, it's so dry. So Inojin, not even the first word out of Kobu's body is the one that ends up possibly revealing himself, immediately calling Sai Dad. It's just, oh, Inojin, we love you, but man, that was not good. That was not good for you. So after the mind transfer, the frog that was with Shikamaru proceeds to hop over to Inojin, who is now in Kobu's body, and he tells Inojin, let's get outside. So Inojin makes the excuse that the interrogation has exhausted him, that he wants to take a break. He tells Sai, I don't need an escort, that'll defeat the purpose of the break because y'all are too stifling. Sai tries to make a rebuttal to Lord Kobu, saying that you need an escort right now, but Inojin proceeds to tell him, you wait here, that's an order, I'll be right back. And with this, Inojin / Kobu proceeds to go up to the roof of the Hokage building. Now that they're up on the roof, Inojin proceeds to ask Koji, what are you planning to do? We have to be careful, don't we? Mamushi is fast approaching the Hokage's office. What if something happens to Kubo? Koji remains quiet. Inojin then says, oh no. No, you're kidding, right? Koji finally answers him. We're going to kill Kobu. And this shocks Inojin. And normally, this would be the cliffhanger for the chapter. But we got more pages. I'm very proud of the fact we got more pages. When I was reading this, I actually thought this was the end right here. I was very happy to see that there was more. We cut back to Shikamaru and Sai. Shikamaru tells Sai, I have to leave, I have work to do. Sai finally decides to reveal that he knows what's going on. He asks Shikamaru, what are you making Inojin do? I'm still in shock of what's going on, but once I saw Inojin's eyes and Kobu's body, I knew that's Inojin's transfer jutsu. So tell me, Shikamaru, what is going on here? So it seems like Sai's finally going to be let in on the whole operation. Well, maybe not the whole operation, it depends on how much Shikamaru is willing to divulge to him. And we already know that Ino, sorry, my mind went blank. We already know that Ino is not exactly happy with Shikamaru, with how he's been involving him. So it will be interesting to see what Sai's reaction is to this. We cut back to Kobu, Inojin, and Koji. Koji proceeds to say, you can jump off the edge. Make it look like he was attacked by Mamushi and that he panicked. Or any other method. We just have to kill him now. And Inojin is still very adamant about not doing this. He keeps asking Koji, you're kidding, right? You're not being serious about it. Koji tells him, look, I'm not gonna debate ethics with you right now. Think. Kobu is our enemy and he's been a hindrance so far. There's no group transmission. Right now, only you and I are in the conversation. there will be no evidence against you. Even though Shikamaru and Sai both know about this, so Koji's kind of lying. And Inojin tells him, "This is crazy, Koji, you've lost your mind." And as those two are arguing, someone off screen yells to Kobu. He asks him, "Hey, you there. You know a woman named Ada?" And it's revealed that this is she asking. With his quick thinking, Koji proceeds to unleash an attack from the frog that is on Kobu and manages to lay a grazing hit on Mamushi. This ends up angering him, and he instantly duplicates a few Mamushis around himself. And he says, "What the heck? Do you want to die?" And Koji says, "There. How's that?" That is how the chapter ends. So Koji is now set up for Mamushi to go after Kobu and hopefully kill him. That can keep their story straight and not make it look like they plan to kill him on purpose. What an absolute banger of a chapter. I know some people might be upset by the lack of action maybe in this chapter, or how Mamushi's kind of not doing much so far, but I think this is a top tier chapter. We got a lot of political drama and it worked out very well. We got an amazing little, I don't know if I want to call it a plot twist, but an amazing moment with Inojin and Koji with the whole take over Kobu's mind, take him to the roof, now we're gonna kill him, jump off the edge. Like, that whole moment is super cool. It's really exciting to see an old ability like the mind transfer jutsu still having its use even now, especially with how power levels are. Usually the mind transfer jutsu is not that helpful, but right now it's proving to be the answer that we need. It's interesting to see how Mamushi is walking around the Hidden Leaf Village, him actually not feeling violent. He's actually listening to what Jura said, and he's only here for Ada. Did a really good job this chapter, kind of emphasizing just how creepy Mamushi is. We got some Boruto aura farming moments. Like, overall, I think this chapter is really nice. I think it's definitely in one of the great chapters of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. We got the moment with Boruto getting captured by the Hidden Leaf Shinobi, showing that they're not completely useless. Yeah, no, there's just a bunch of great moments in this chapter. Sai finally figuring out what's going on. Yeah, I overall really like this chapter. I think the biggest thing we need to talk about right now is, how is Boruto gonna interfere here? No, Boruto already had that small moment of him wondering what Koji's. We know that Boruto has already gone against Koji and his plans multiple times. So it just seems like Boruto's gonna interfere here. Maybe he's gonna save Kobu from Mamushi. Maybe that's his plan? By doing this, he's hoping that maybe Kobu will become more lenient or more relaxed about him, thus push Shikamaru about it. I don't think that'll work though. Maybe Boruto will try to save Kobu, but in the end Mamushi ends up still killing him somehow. And this will just further increase the divide between Koji and Boruto, since Koji will be extremely upset at Boruto for completely going against him now in this situation. Especially when it's very dire with Mamushi being in the area as well. Maybe Koji will be extremely upset by that. But no, I do think Boruto is going to interfere here. Maybe right when Mamushi goes for the kill here, Boruto will end up saving Kobu and try to get him out of there, and Kobu will still end up dying some way, but it won't be for the lack of effort on Boruto's part. Maybe with Boruto interfering here, Mamushi completely loses it and unleashes so many duplicates that they completely lose all intelligence, and instead of looking for Ada, they just start destroying stuff. Who knows? This could go many ways, but they have set up a really interesting situation here. I'm excited to see how this ends up turning out. But I think with that being said, I think we're going to go ahead and call it here. Let me know what y'all think of the chapter, what exactly you guys felt, how you guys feel about Mamushi. if your opinion on him is increasing, waning, staying the same. I think this is a pretty good chapter for him. But yeah, with that being said, I guess I'll quickly make a wildcard prediction, and I think I'm just gonna go ahead and go with the easy one here. Boruto will interfere and save Kobu, and I think that'll be my wildcard prediction for next chapter, so we'll have to wait on that, but I think that's a pretty strong yes that that's gonna happen. But yeah, with that being said, I see you all next time. God bless, happy reading, and I will see you all later. Out.